A very good afternoon to you. This is TV Sapiencia on Star Times Channel 260. Today is Tuesday, the 24th of June 2025. My name is Joe Ibo. In our news headlines this afternoon, operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) have arrested a former chief financial officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC), Umar Isa, over an alleged $7.2 billion fraud linked with the rehabilitation of the Kaduna, Warri, and Port Harcourt refineries. President Bola Tinubu has flagged up the distribution of 2,000 modern tractors and over 9,000 agricultural implements to farmers across the country under the Renewed Hope Agricultural Mechanization Program. The Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has pledged over 2 billion naira for the rehabilitation of the farm center GSM Market following the recent inferno that ravaged parts of it. And on a foreign scene, Israel's defense minister has accused Iran of violating the ceasefire 2 hours after agreeing to the deal brokered by Donald Trump and Qatar. Now the details of the news. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) have arrested a former chief financial officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC), Umar Isa, over an alleged $7.2 billion fraud linked with the rehabilitation of the Kaduna, Warri, and Port Harcourt refineries. Also in the custody of the EFCC is a former managing director of Warri Refinery, Imo State. Isa, as chief financial officer, was in charge of the release of the funds for the turnaround maintenance of the 3 refineries. Isa and all the key officials involved in the maintenance of the refineries and other NNPCL key projects are being investigated for alleged abuse of office, corruption, diversion of funds, and kickbacks from contractors. Other officials involved are the managing director of the Warri Refinery, Tunde Bakare, a former managing director of the Port Harcourt Refinery, Ahmed Diko, and the former managing director of the Port Harcourt Refinery, Ibrahim Onoja. EFCC's spokesperson, Dele Oyewale, could not be reached for his comments. Last week, the Senate Committee on Public Accounts, chaired by Aliyu Wadada, raised the alarm over discrepancies involving trillions of naira in the audited financial statements of the NNPCL, describing the revelations as mind-boggling and worrisome. The United States mission in Nigeria has warned all Americans to stay away from all military and government facilities in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. In an advisory on its website, the mission said the security warning was crucial in light of current global developments. The mission prohibited embassy staff from unofficial visits to any government or military facility in Abuja. It also advised its citizens to stay alert in public places with particular attention to locations and venues where Westerners, expatriates, and government officials frequent. It also urged American nationals to avoid large gatherings and consider limiting unnecessary travel, avoid predictable routines, familiarize themselves with emergency exits in buildings, and to review personal security plans. Meanwhile, the federal government has said that there is no security threat within its capital city, Abuja. The Nigerian government stated this yesterday in response to an advisory by the United States mission in Nigeria, warning all Americans to stay away from all military and government facilities in Abuja. In its response, the federal government maintained that Abuja remained safe for citizens and visitors alike. In a statement, the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, said Nigeria's security agencies are working round the clock to ensure the continued safety and protection of all residents of the FCT and across the country. Idris said the current security architecture in Abuja has not only been proactive, but has recorded significant successes in detecting, preventing, and neutralizing threats, adding that there is no cause for alarm. The statement encouraged all citizens to conduct their lawful activities without fear, while also remaining vigilant and reporting any suspicious activity to the relevant authorities. Governor Umar Isa of Kaduna State has disclosed that 22 suspects have been arrested in connection with the murder of 12 indigenes of the state in neighboring Plateau State last Saturday. The governor stated this when he visited the surviving victims of the attack at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital in Kaduna. He described the killing of the 12 Kaduna-born wedding guests in the Mangu local government area of Plateau State as barbaric. He said he has been in touch with the Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ensure that all those involved in the attack are brought to justice. He commended Kaduna residents for being peaceful in the face of the provoking incident, while urging local leaders in Plateau State to caution their people from carrying out such a dastardly act. Sani had called on security agencies to immediately arrest and prosecute the perpetrators. The victims were said to be traveling from Zaria in Kaduna State for a wedding in the Kwampan local government area of Plateau State when they were intercepted by a mob at Mangun district. The travelers were killed instantly while several others sustained various degrees of injuries. President Bola Tinubu has flagged up the distribution of 2,000 modern tractors and over 9,000 agricultural implements to farmers across the country under the Renewed Hope Agricultural Mechanization Program. The official launch held in Abuja yesterday is part of a mechanization initiative aimed at revolutionizing agriculture, creating jobs and driving rural economic development. The distributed assets include 2,000 tractors varying in horsepower and configurations, 2,000 disc plows and harrows, and 1,000 disc ridgers. Others are 1,200 tractor trailers, 500 seed drills, 300 boom sprayers, 10 combine harvesters, 12 mobile workshop vehicles, and 9,022 sets of spare parts. The program, initiated through a bilateral agreement with the Republic of Belarus, is set to bring over 550,000 hectares of farmland into production, generate more than 2 million metric tons of food annually, and create over 16,000 jobs across the country. Speaking, Tinubu stated that the distribution of farming tools is a strategic shift from subsistence farming to large-scale technology-driven agriculture. The Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has pledged over 2 billion naira for the rehabilitation of the farm center GSM Market following the recent inferno that ravaged parts of it. Governor Yusuf made the pledge during a visit to the market, where he was warmly welcomed by traders and market leaders. According to a statement issued by his spokesperson, Sunusi Bature Dawakintofa, the intervention is a strategic move to not only rebuild damaged sections, but also transform the market into a modern and secure trading environment. Dawakintofa said the intervention also includes the installation of solar-powered street lights to boost visibility and security, construction of a pedestrian bridge to enhance safe access for shoppers and traders, rehabilitation of both internal and surrounding roads, and the development of proper drainage systems to prevent flooding during the rainy season. The Imo State Commissioner of Police, CP Aboki Danjuma, has issued a warning to police officers to refrain from involving themselves in land-related disputes. In a statement released through the state police spokesperson, ASP Henry Okoye, the CP emphasized that any officer found violating this directive will face severe disciplinary action. He also warned petitioners against misleading the police with false claims, stating that such actions will lead to investigation and prosecution. The Academic Board of the Kogi State Polytechnic, Lokoja, has expelled 6 students of the institution over examination malpractice after asking 273 others to withdraw over poor academic performance. The decision was taken when the board considered and approved the first semester results for the 2024-2025 academic session. The institution's Director of Public Relations and Protocol, Uredu Omale, in a statement said this was part of the decisions reached at the 120th meeting of the board held on Thursday, April 17, 2025, at the boardroom of the Polytechnic main campus in Lokoja. Omale said the chairman of the board, Professor Salisu Obo Usman, commended members of the academic board result verification committee led by the deputy rector, Dr. Samuel Taiwo Olowo, for due diligence on the results and charged them to sustain the tempo. She said the withdrawals spread across 20 departments and 42 programs, including business administration, accountancy, fine arts, building technology, civil engineering, and computer science. Other affected departments were animal health and production, library science, mass communication, office technology, and management. The Anambra State Police Command has urged residents of the state to expose criminals among them to maintain law and order, prevent crimes, and ensure public safety. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Tochukwu Ikenga, made a call in a statement yesterday. Ikenga said that the Joint Security Force in the state had already stepped up surveillance and patrols to nip any untoward situation in the board. He emphasized the importance of community participation in maintaining security and preventing crimes, while calling on residents to remain vigilant and cooperative with the security agencies in exposing unrepentant criminals in the state. Ikenga enjoined members of the public to call the Command's Control Room phone number or the PPRO for prompt response to any emergency or breach of peace. The police spokesperson also said that the MPF Rescue Me app is available for free download on both Android and iOS devices for help. Now in this foreign news, Israel's defense minister has accused Iran of violating the ceasefire 2 hours after agreeing to the deal brokered by Donald Trump and Qatar. Israel, CARS, has also vowed to respond forcefully to Iran's violation of the ceasefire with intense strikes against regime targets in the heart of Tehran. Iran earlier said it would respect the ceasefire if Israel did the same. Overnight, Tehran endured one of its worst nights of the conflict, while officials say 4 people were killed in Israel. It comes after Iran launched missiles at a USA base in Qatar after strikes on its nuclear sites over the weekend. Qatar said all the missiles were intercepted. To end the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have arrested a former chief financial officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Umar Isa, over an alleged $7.2 billion fraud linked with the rehabilitation of the Kaduna, Warri, and Port Harcourt refineries. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has flagged up the distribution of 2,000 modern tractors and over 9,000 agricultural implements to farmers across the country under the Renewed Hope Agricultural Mechanization Program. The Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has pledged over 2 billion naira for the rehabilitation of the farm center market following the recent inferno that ravaged parts of it. And finally, from our foreign desk, Israel's defense minister has accused Iran of violating the ceasefire 2 hours after agreeing to the deal brokered by Donald Trump and Qatar. That was the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.